Hi, Kartiki. I'm Romi Castagnino, Mongabay's Associate Digital Editor. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is really special.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you on having The Elephant Whisperers nominated for an Oscar. How was your reaction? And how did Bowman and Belly feel about their story being praised and watched by a lot more people now?
It's absolutely surreal. I think on behalf of Bowman Belly and our beautiful elephant friends, Raghu and Amu, I think we're just absolutely thrilled to receive this great honor. It's just really helping spread the message of the film, create more awareness, empathy, connection to elephants, and also just to the other living beings that we share our spaces with. And I'm just so grateful to Netflix as well for just believing in the power of this truly unique story, which showcases the sacred bond between man and animal. And it's just been super amazing. And having Netflix on board has really helped us reach out to 231 million subscribers in 190 countries and multiple languages. So just really incredibly blessed to have such a global platform for the outreach of this unique story. And Bowman and Belly are just super excited and very happy that their story has been able to reach so many people. They're very overwhelmed with the number of personal emails and messages and fan art that we've been getting from across the world. So it's been extremely special in that way. We've had children from across the world be drawing images from the movie. We've had personal emails coming in with 8 paragraphs long about understanding elephants on a whole different level. So it's been really special. And from all remote parts of the world, from New Zealand, Australia, Ukraine, and Yugoslavia, it's just all over the place. It's just amazing. So, and way up in Scotland as well, it's been really special.
And for the people that haven't watched the film, can you tell us, without giving any spoilers away, what is the film about?
In simple words, the documentary is really about the sacred bond between man and animal. And it really focuses on Indigenous people and their way of life, but also looking into elephants as a species and how intelligent and beautiful they are.
The film had such an intimate look into the lives of these caregivers, and that translated, of course, in the beautiful types of shots you used. Did you shoot the film during the pandemic? And if that was the case, did that time in isolation shape in any way your vision of the film?
We were recording during the pandemic as well. We were in the ground in the middle of the forest during that time. I think what I really liked about having the pandemic there is that there were no tourists around, and the forest was just absolutely quiet and peaceful. It was just us and the wilderness. That was very special. And it didn't really change the way the story went, because it was a story that we were just documenting day in and day out for the last 5 years, since 2017. So it was something that was just organic. So we were really lucky to be able to film during the pandemic.
And how did you find their story?
I will just say that I absolutely fell in love with Raghu, and I was driving on my way back from Ooty to Bangalore to pack my belongings and move back to my hometown up in the mountains. And I saw Bowman and Raghu walking along the side of the road, and they were going down for their evening bath. And I was leaning out of the window because I was so excited to see a calf so young and so vulnerable. And at that point, Bowman really just saw me, and he saw that I was super excited, and he beckoned towards me. So I pulled my car over to the side and jumped out and went and joined them as they went down for their bath in the river. And that was a really special moment for me, and which now that I actually look back upon is this beautiful journey that I've embarked on, which is going to continue on for life, because the movie finished in 5 years, but my connection to Raghu, Namu, and Bowman and Belly is lifelong. In fact, the elephants will even outlive me, so it's a bond for life. And as I was going down, I spent time. I got into the river with Raghu and Bowman, and I was scrubbing Raghu, and he was splashing around, throwing his trunk in the air. And elephants at such young age have no control over the thousands of muscles present in their trunk. So that was just really exciting and special at the same time. And I also noticed that Bowman shared this very special bond with Raghu. And it was unlike anything I'd ever seen before, because I've seen older mahouts always with elephants and in the space that I grew up in. But this was different. Here you had this young, vulnerable calf that is actually a wild animal. And here you have this beautiful, unique family dynamic with a human being. And that just made me really question why Raghu was orphaned and what was behind all of this. So that was where I would say the bittersweet beginning to the story really began, because the Asian elephant is just losing its habitat at a very rapid pace due to encroachment and climate change in a fast developing country like India. And roughly there are roughly about 35,000 to 40,000 Asian elephants left. And the situation is actually very grim. We're losing elephants at alarming rates due to poaching and human elephant conflict. But I just really wanted the story to be positive and to focus on the positive parts as opposed to all the depressing parts when there's so much beauty and this unusual family dynamic right in front of me. So, and this sort of led back to the fact of why why he was orphaned. And that goes back to the fact that Raghu's mother was electrocuted as his herd wandered into this nearby village in search of food and water, and due to a prolonged drought that we were facing at the time. So I just really wanted people to be able to understand these beautiful beings on a deeper level and to also recognize their similar traits and intelligence. That was something that was extremely important to me during the making of this. And I just really hope to get people to want to protect them and their landscape. And I thought that this was a beautiful way to do that. And I also wanted to show the importance of Indigenous people and their knowledge, most importantly, to give people like Bowman and Belly a voice. And that was what was really special. And that's how this documentation came about and the documentary came into being. It was extremely organic in its development.
You showed how the importance of having local or Indigenous people at the top priority for conservation, and it's beautiful how you told this story. Of course, these people are living there and have the knowledge and the connection with the forest for centuries, and having them be the leaders and inspiring people and the new generations. I love the shot where Raghu, I think it is, that is bathing in the river, and also the little kids are helping their fathers bathe them, and the connections that they have. It was such a beautifully well shot movie.
So much. And I think also that's what really drew me to the subject matter of the film, because I think in this time there are just so many stories about animals being killed and species dying out. And this was the positive story that really highlights the beauty of man and animal working together, because I believe coexistence is the way that we need to move forward into the future. And only with mutual respect and cooperation can we really save the planet. The story needed to be told right now because of the current climate change situation and human encroachment on habitat and wildlife. We just really need to learn how to respect other animals. The elephant is just extremely intelligent, emotional, and social. So I felt like it was a very good place to start. Humans can relate to elephants because elephants just share so many human traits.
And we see this huge problem of wildlife-human conflict all over the world, across regions, across species. And with this, the Elephant Whispers gave us hope into what we can do to actually change that and stop this from happening. What would you say to emerging filmmakers that want to produce a film that is in their neighborhood, that is a local story, but maybe perhaps they are just don't know how to reach this larger audience that, of course, your film has, because it's a really local story, but it translates into global issue, you know? What would you say to them?
I think to begin with, the first thing that I would definitely go in is passion, because when I started this journey and I first met Raghu, it was a very personal journey that turned into a documentary over time. And at that point, it was just merely me hanging out with a young elephant who I fell in love with, and I wanted to tell his story. So I think beyond looking at it as being a documentary, I think it's more about having a deeper connection to something that you're passionate about telling the world about. And forget the fact that it is something that's very specific to a location, because here we have Bowman and Belly, who come from a very indigenous, ancient tribal community from the heart of South India. But the message that they had is something for all of humanity. And this is, I would say, is truly a documentary without borders. It's about respect for other living beings that we share our spaces with, and that's something that's universal. It's about the connection that we share with other living beings, like animals, plants, and all living things. And I hope that this really translates from animals, but also translates to our deeper connection with the planet and how we are treating it during this time. So I would definitely tell young people out there to really believe in your story, go out there and never think that something's too small. I think everything has a place and has a space for the world to watch it. And I think as we enter into this new era of documentary storytelling in a very local way. I think everyone has a chance to really take stories from their unique parts of the world and showcase them to a much larger audience. There's an audience out there waiting to watch what the world has to offer.
It's amazing to see, first with My Octopus Teacher, now with your film, like more nature documentaries getting in the room of something like the Oscars, and getting people excited all over the world from different professions, into the natural connection that we have to the world. Thank you very much, Kartiki. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and good luck in the Oscars.
Thank you. We need all the luck we can get. And yes, we are hoping for the best. But I just hope that the documentary really goes out and touches people across the world, irrespective of anything that happens beyond this. So